This is the EdExcel GCSE 91 Maths paper 2 from the foundation tier, and this paper is a calculator paper. Question number 1. We have to write the following numbers in order of size. Start with the smallest number. Well, you can think of these numbers to be temperatures. -7 is the most negative, followed by the -2, followed by the -1, followed by the 0, followed by the 7. We have written these numbers in order of size with the smallest first. Question number 2, we have to write 37% as a fraction. Well, percent means out of 100. So, out of 100, we have 37. 37% as a fraction is 37 over 100. Question number 3, we have to write down the 7th odd number. The first odd number is 1, followed by 3, followed by 5, followed by 7, followed by 9, followed by 11, followed by 13, so on and so forth. The 13 is the 7th odd number. Question number 4, we have to change 53 centimeters to millimeters. So far, we have 53 centimeters, and to convert this into millimeters, we would have to multiply by 100, and if I multiply 53 by 100, we end up with 530 millimeters. So we have 530 millimeters. Question number 5. Here are 4 cards. There is a number on each card. We've got 4, 7, 6 and 3 as the numbers on the card. We have to write down the smallest 4-digit even number that can be made using each card only once. Well, if we want the smallest 4-digit even number, well, the number can either end in a 4 or a 6, because the digits 4 and 6 are even. We want the smallest 4-digit even number, so the 3 will go in the thousands column, followed by the 4 in the 100s column, followed by the 7 in the tens column, followed by the 6 in the units column. Question number 6. Here is a quadrilateral ABCD. For part A, we have to measure the length of the side AB. Give your answer in centimeters. Well, if we were to measure the side of AB, what you can see is we have 4.5 centimeters. For part B, we have to measure the size of the angle marked X. Well, if we measure the angle marked X, what you can see is we have 109 degrees. So we have 109 degrees. Question number 7. Miles writes down the distance readings from his car at the start and end of a journey. At the start of the journey, we've got 12,468 miles. At the end of the journey, we've got 12,845 miles. Miles knows that the cost of petrol for this journey is 13p per mile. We have to work out the cost of the petrol used for this journey. Give your answer in pounds. Well, what we need to do to begin with is find out the number of miles. The number of miles is equal to 12,845 subtract 12,468. And if we work out this difference, we get 377 miles. Now it's 13 pence per mile, so therefore for the cost we have 13 pence, which is the same as 0.13 pounds, multiplied by 377, and if we work out what this is equal to, we get 49 pounds and 1 pence. So we have 49 pounds and 1 pence. Question number 8. Safia wants to hire a van. She uses this rule to work out the cost of hiring a van for a number of days. The cost is equal to 45 pounds multiplied by the number of days. Safia is going to hire the van for 7 days. We have to work out the cost. Well, the cost, C, that is equal to 45 multiplied by 7, because we've got 7 days, and if we work out this, we get 315. Question number 9. The table shows information about the number of students who arrive late at a school each day 1 week, and on the grid we have to draw a bar chart for this information. Well, we can see that we go to 10 students and we need to represent our skills. So we've got the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. And if we create a scale, we've got 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. And we could go up to the 12. So for Monday, we've got 9. And that is shown here. For Tuesday, we have 10. So that is shown here. Wednesday, we've got 8. Thursday, we have 6. And for Friday, we have 3. Here is the completed bar chart. Question number 10. Here is part of a bus timetable between Wigan and Bolton. For part A, how many minutes should the 7:20 bus take to go from Wigan to Lostock? So Wigan to Lostock, we have 7:20 to 8:09. And if we work out how many minutes that is, well, from 7:20 to 8 o'clock, that's 40 minutes. And then we add on another 9 minutes. So that is equal to 49 minutes. Alison goes from Blackroad to Bolton by bus. One day Alison leaves her house at 8 o'clock. She takes 7 minutes to walk to the bus stop in Blackrod. She takes 15 minutes to walk from the bus stop in Bolton to work. Alison needs to be at work for 9:20. Will Alison get to work for 9:20? You must show how you get your answer. Well, we start off with 8 o'clock. Then we add 7 minutes to this. And if we do that, we get 8:07. Now, she starts at Blackroad. She arrives at the bus station at 8:07, so which bus should she get? Clearly, it's his 8:09 bus. So she should catch the 8:09 bus. Now, the time she arrives in Bolton is 8:58. And so, arriving at Bolton at 8:58, she then takes 15 minutes to walk from the bus stop in Bolton to work. So if we have this 8:58, and if I add on to this 15 minutes, the time she arrives at work is 9:13. So she gets to work by 9:20. Question number 11. 214 people go on a school trip. The people on the trip are either adults or children. There are 14 adults on the trip. 35% of the children on the trip are wearing a hat. We have to find the number of children on the trip who are not wearing a hat. Well, we've got 214 people altogether. 14 of them are adults, which means 200 are children. So there are 200 children. And we know that 35% of the children are wearing a hat. So if I work out 35% of 200, well, we've got 0.35 times by 200, which is 70. So therefore we have 70 children with a hat. So what we now need to do is find out the number of children who are not wearing a hat. So we've got 200 children altogether. 70 of them wear a hat. So the number of children without a hat is 130. So we've got 130 children without a hat. Question number 12. For part A, we have to work out 5/8 of 132. So we have 5/8 multiplied by 132. It turns out we get 82.5. So we have 82.5. For part B, we have to write the following fractions in order of size. Start with the smallest fraction. There are a couple of ways of doing this. One way in which we can do this is to write each of these as decimals. So if I have 3/8, that as a decimal is 0.375. If I work out 9/32 as a decimal, that is 0.28125. 1/4, that's 0.25. And 21 divided by 64, that is equal to 0.328125. So, which one is the smallest? Well, that is this 0.25 followed by this, followed by this, followed by this. So we've got the smallest one, that is 1/4, followed by the 0.28125, which corresponds to the 9/32. Then we've got the 21/64, followed by the 0.375, which corresponds to the 3/8. So here are the orders of the fractions, with the smallest first. Question number 13. A shop has two different special offers on milk. We've got this first offer, 2 pints is 75p. We pay for 2 bottles, we get 1 bottle free. For this second offer, we have 4 pints of milk for £1.28. We pay for 1 bottle and we get 1 bottle half price. Which offer gives the better value for money? You must show how you get your answer. Well, if I take a look at this first offer, well, if I pay for 2 bottles, we've got 2 times by £0.75, which is £1.50. So that means we get 3 bottles because we get 2 bottles which we pay for plus another one for free. So we have 3 bottles for £1.50. Now altogether, we've got 2 pints times by 3, which is 6 pints. So that means we get 6 pints for £1.50. So 1 pint is equal to 150 divided by 6, which is 0.25. Taking a look at the second offer, well, we've got £1.28, that's 1 bottle, and the other bottle is half price, so we have half times by 128. And if I work out what this is, I get 192. So I've got 2 bottles for 192. I've got 4 pints, so that means I've got 2 4-pint bottles. So that means I have 8 pints for 192, which means 1 pint is equal to 0.24 pounds. 192 divided by 8 is 0.24. So that means offer 2 gives the better value for money. Question number 14. For part A, we have to simplify 4c plus 7d plus 3c subtract d. Well, 4c plus 3c, that will give 7c. And then we've got 7d subtract d, which is 6d. So we have 7c plus 6d. For part B, we have to solve 5 multiplied by 2m subtract 6 equals 40. One way in which we could do this is to divide both sides by 5 to begin with. The reason for that is this and this would simplify to 1, leaving us with 2m subtract 6 equals 8. And now if we add 6 to both sides, what you can see is 2m equals 14. Now if I divide both sides by 2, that means m equals 7. Next, there are x sweets in a box, there are y sweets in a packet. We have to write an expression in terms of x and y for the total number of sweets in 3 boxes and 2 packets. Well, I've got 3 boxes of sweets, so that will be 3x. And I've got 2 packets of sweets, so that will be 2y. So I have 3x plus 2y as my expression. I don't need t equals because it's asking for an expression only. Question number 15. Hetvi asked her friends how many stickers they each have in their collection. Here are her results. For part A, we have to show this information on a stem and leaf diagram. Well, we've got 70s, 80s, 90s, and 100s. So for the left hand column, we can put in a 7, 8, 9, and a 10. Now let's take a look at the 70s. The smallest one is this 71. The next smallest is this 71. The next smallest is the 74. The next smallest is the 75. The next smallest is the 77. So that's all we have for the 70s. Now if I look at the 80s, the smallest one for the 80s starts off with this 82, followed by the 84, followed by the 85, followed by the 86, followed by the 87, followed by the 88, followed by the 89. And then if we take a look at the 90s, well, we've got 91, then we've got the 94, followed by the 97, followed by the 98. And then if we take a look at the 100s, well, we've just got the 103. We now need to show this with a key. So if I've got 7 with a vertical line and then the 1, this means 71. We now want to find out the median. Well, how many numbers do we have in total? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 numbers. So, if we have 17 numbers altogether, to find out the median, that means if I do 17 plus 1 divided by 2, I get the 9th number, which I need to find. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the median is given by 86. Question number 16. Water flows through each of the pipes that fill a lake at the same rate. It takes 4 of the pipes 12 hours to fill the lake. We have to work out how many hours it would take 6 pipes to fill 1/4 of the lake. Well, what we know, to fill the lake, we know that 4 pipes take 12 hours altogether. So therefore, 1 pipe will take 4 times longer so therefore 1 pipe will take 48 hours to fill the lake completely. Now for 6 pipes then, to fill the lake completely, that will take 48 divided by 6, which is equal to 8. So 6 pipes take 8 hours to fill the lake completely. So now if I have 1/4 of the lake, 6 pipes take 8 hours to completely fill the lake. So I would have 1/4 of 8 hours, which equals 2 hours. So I've got 2 hours. Question number 17. The table shows information about the heights of 80 teenagers. We have to work out an estimate for the mean height of the teenagers. The first thing we need to do is find the midpoints of each of these categories. We've got 155, 165, 175, 185 and 195. If I call the frequency f, we now need to work out the midpoint times the frequency. 155 times by 8 is 1240. 165 times 14 is 2310. 175 times by 24 is 4200. 185 times 30 is 5550. And 195 times 4 is 780. Now if I add together the 1240, 2310, 4200, 5580 and 870, and if I add together all the frequencies, well, adding these together we get 14,080, and adding the frequencies together we get 80. So to work out the mean, I need to do 14,080 divided by 80, which is 176. So the mean is 176. Question number 18. The scatter graph shows information about the amount of rainfall in millimeters and the number of hours of sunshine for each of 10 English towns on the same day. That's what we see here. One of the points is an outlier. We have to write down the coordinates of this point. Well, the point which is an outlier, that is the point which does not follow the general trend of the other patterns, and you can clearly see that is this point here, and that point has coordinates 2, 1. So the outlier has coordinates 2, 1. For part B of the question, ignoring the outlier, we have to describe the relationship between the amount of rainfall and the number of hours of sunshine. As the amount of rainfall decreases, the number of hours of sunshine increases. On the same day in another English town, there were 7 hours of sunshine, but to use this scatter graph to estimate the amount of rainfall in this town on this day? Well, if we go to our scatter diagram, the first thing we need to do is draw a line of best fit. And if we draw a line of best fit, we would have something looking roughly like this. Now, for 7 hours of sunshine, we read across and then we read down. What you can see, the amount of rainfall will be 3.4. So we have 3.4 millimeters. Question number 9. The front elevation and the side plan of a solid are shown on the grid. And we have to draw the side elevation of the solid from the direction of the arrow. So when we look at it from the front, we see a certain shape, like so. And what we need to do is show this front elevation. So the way we go about this is to think to ourselves, how thick is this going to be? And we can do that by looking at the plan. And if you look at the plan, you can see it is 3 squares thick. So it's 3 squares thick. So we begin by drawing a line which is 3 squares thick. Now, to determine how tall this is going to be, we can use this height over here, and that's 5 squares long. So we need to draw a line which is 5 squares long, like so. So we have something which is 5 squares long, and then we also have this bit over here which we see, which is 1 square up, and that takes us to this point here. And then we've got the height of 2 over here when we look at it from the front. So another 2 squares up, and then drawing a line like so will be that line. And then we've also got this bit which takes us up to here, and we can show that bit that dips inwards by using a dashed line like so. And that is 3 squares down. And so what we see over here is the side elevation. So here is our side elevation. Question number 20. Here are the first 5 terms of an arithmetic sequence: 7, 13, 19, 25 and 31. We have to find an expression in terms of n for the nth term of this sequence. Well, the difference between each term you can see is plus 6. So we have a 6n, and to find out the 0th term, well, I need to subtract 6 from 7 to get 1. So we have 6n plus 1. For part B, the nth term of a different sequence is 8 subtract 6n. Is negative 58 a term in this sequence? You must show how you get your answer. So we have 8 subtract 6n, and if I set this equal to negative 58, well, rearranging, we have 6n equals 66. If I divide both sides by 6, n is equal to 11. So is negative 58 a term in the sequence? Well, yes it is. It's the 11th term. Question number 21. The diagram shows a plan of Jason's garden. A, B, C, O and D, E, F, O are rectangles. CDO is a right angle triangle and AFO is a sector of a circle with center O and angle AOF is equal to 90 degrees. Jason is going to cover his garden with grass seed. Each bag of grass seed covers 14 meters squared of garden. Each bag of grass seed costs £10.95. We have to work out how much it will cost Jason to buy all of the bags of grass seeds he needs. Well, we can work out the various areas of this different sections. 11 times by 7 is 77. So here we have 77 meters squared. Here we have 9 times by 7, which is 63. So here we have 63 meters squared. For this 1/4 of a circle, well, we've got pi times by the radius squared. Now the radius is 7, so we have 7 squared, and we divide this by 4 because we've got 1/4 of a circle. So for this section, we have 49 pi over 4 meters squared, and here we've got a rectangle. 11 times by 9 times by a half is, well, let's work that out. We've got 9 times by 11 times by a half, which is 99 over 2, or 49.5 meters squared. So now we can find out the total area. So the total area, well, we've got the 77 being added to 63 being added to 49 pi over 4 being added to 49.5. And if we work out what this is all equal to, it turns out we have 227.98 etc. meters squared. So now we can find out the number of bags we need by working out 227.98 etc. divided by 14. So if I divide this amount by 14, we get 17 bags. So to find out the cost, we need to do 10.95 times by 17, which is 186.15. So we have 186 pounds 15 pence. Question number 22. We have to work out the value of x to 3 significant figures. Well, we've got right angle triangle. This angle is 53 degrees. I've got x for the adjacent, 14.5 for the hypotenuse. What connects those is cosine. So we have cosine of 53 degrees equals x divided by 14.5. So I've got x equals 14.5 multiplied by the cosine of 53. So if we work out this value, we have 8.726, etc. So to three significant figures, we have 8.73. Question number 23. Ella invests £7,000 for 2 years in an account paying compound interest. In the first year, the rate of interest is 3%. In the second year, the rate of interest is 1.5%. We have to work out the value of Ella's investment at the end of the 2 years. Well, the value that is equal to, well, we invest £7,000. In the first year, we've got interest at 3%. So we multiply by 1.03. So this is the interest in the first year. And then we times by 1.015, which is the interest in the second year. And if we work out what this is equal to, it turns out we get 7,318.15. So we have £7,318.15. Question number 24. Here is the graph of y equals x squared, subtract 6x plus 4. For part A, we have to write down the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis, that's over here, so the y-intercept is quite simply 4. Then for part B, we have to write down the coordinates of the turning point. Well, if we go to our graph, the turning point is where the graph begins to turn, that's over here. We've got coordinates 3 minus 5. So we have 3 minus 5. Then, using the graph, we have to find estimates for the roots of the equation x squared subtract 6x plus 4 equals 0. Well, where we are looking is where the graph equals 0. It equals 0 here, and it also equals 0 here. So, you can see then, those values, we've got x equals 0.8 and also x equals 5.2. Question number 25. We have to find the reciprocal of 0.8. Well, the reciprocal quite simply means 1 over. So we have 1 over 0.8, and if we work out what this is, we get 5 over 4. And if we want that as a decimal, we get 1.25. So we have x equals 1.25. Then x equals 4,700 to two significant figures, and we have to write down the error interval for x. Well, the error interval, we have 4,650 being less than or equal to x being less than 4,750. Question number 26. The population of a town increased by 9% between 2018 and 2019. The population in 2019 was 165,680. We have to calculate the population in 2018. Well, if I let x equal the population in 2018, we've got x multiplied by 1.09, and the final population in 2019 is 165,680. So, if we calculate what x is, we would have to do the calculation 165,680 divided by 1.09. So we get x equals 152,000. So the population is 152,000 in 2018.